Hello guys, welcome to the Train Parrot. Today Bitcoin is sitting at 27.3, less than minus 1% to the downside. The market has sold out pretty heavily this week, so these are the times to really pay attention on what's going on. We need to decide our next move, and I really want to show you some insights that you're not going to find in any other channel that are definitely going to help us to decide what's going to be our next move. We can see that we are pretty much in a very heavy Bitcoin season. The index is at number 8. It's the lowest it's been in almost 2 years. If we look at the whole history of the index, we can see that it's doing higher lows, but being at 8, it must be quite disappointing to all the people that were expecting that by now we will be in an altcoin season, when everything is pretty much selling out. In the past hours, we saw the liquidations of longs at 27. We were talking about this level on my Twitter. I shared this chart before it happened. If you're missing out on those calls, sometimes I post them on YouTube in a post, but most of the time they go first to Twitter. So if you don't want to miss out on these calls, make sure you're following me on my Twitter. The handle is Trading Parrot. It's pretty clear that we are currently in the middle of a Bitcoin season. We had a sell on the super trend 4 hour on total 3, and since then it's been coming down. The Bitcoin dominance has been going sideways for a full month, sitting at around 47%, not really picking any direction. For altcoin season, we needed Bitcoin dominance to go below 47, at least to go to 43%. Going back to liquidity hunting, just looking now at the fair value gaps, we can see that we still have one sitting at 28.391, and on the lower end, it starts from 26.5 all the way to 25. So all that liquidity is still available there. Let's compare that to high block capital on the 3-month, and we can see the same liquidity at 25.4. That is a 3-month accumulation, so probably is much more attractive to market maker. But again, the top level of liquidity in the past 3 months is located at 22.4. If they really manage to push the price below 25k, that will be the level to watch. I've been on my Twitter commenting out the movement of the RSI on the 4 hour since the time it broke out here on the 23rd of April. Since then, it found support on the 24th, and now it seems to be going just sideways. What I would like to see is building a structure that is printing higher highs and higher lows. That will be definitely a move very bullish to the upside. What will be really devastating is to re-enter this range below here, which is located at an RSI 4 hour below 31. An RSI below 31 is at the price of 26.7. So crossing and not being able to hold 26.7, which also coincides with this order block here, represented by this blue box, will take us pretty much to 25k. On the daily, if you're wondering what's going on with the RSI on the daily still hasn't reset. We are still below this trend line and starting to form some very, very weak bullish divergences. But nothing that I can say is final to conclude that this is a great time to buy. In terms of macroeconomy liquidity, we don't have absolutely anything new to say. The liquidity is just going sideways. If there's no new liquidity entering the global markets, the likelihood of a rebound to the upside starts kind of decreasing. In this chart, I'm using LuxAlgo price action concepts, one of their premium indicators, and we can see that in almost all the time frames we are bearish except for the daily that's still holding on. If we aggregate all the levels below the price, we can see that the probabilities of going to lower levels are way higher to going to the upside. On the LuxAlgo oscillators premiums, we can see that we have a reset right there, which pretty much coincide with this move to the upside of 3%. But right after that, we are seeing some weakness on the oscillator and turning back into red. So again, nothing conclusive in regards to a potential move to any higher high. A reminder, we still have the CME gap sitting at 21k. CME gaps are very high likely to get filled. The question is which one is going to get filled first? Either the one sitting from 34.5k to the upside or the one starting from 21 to the downside. Let's have a look at the double bottom of the DXY. Pretty much everybody online was mentioning the double bottom potential, but with every candle that we're going sideways without completing the full W, the less likelihood that this plays out. The DXY was about to form a bullish cross on the weekly, which would have been huge. And you can see just by a tiny millimeter, we avoid the bullish cross. And now it's still pointing downwards for the weekly. Of course, we need to wait until the end of the week, but this move here is very bearish for the dollar. On the S&P, we see the opposite story. We see that we are printing a green candle right where we should be looking into completing the double top. And the weekly MACD on the S&P has also prevented the bearish cross. So this right now is pointing upwards, which is obviously bullish on the weekly for the S&P. Many channels are looking right now at the Gaussian channel. And what everybody is expecting to see is to see a flip from red into green. And the one you're looking right now is in weekly time frame. And in the weekly time frame, we still don't get a green. But many channels that are being a little bit impatient, they are looking at this in lower time frames, like for example the 4-day. And on the 4-day, you can see we have already flipped green. In other channels, they're looking in the 3-day, where it's also flipping green. The problem with doing this is that it's more likely that you get a fake out. Like for example here, you flip green and then to red back again. In my opinion, the only time frame that I will consider for a strong entry for using the green signal from the Gaussian channel is the weekly. Of course, you can keep an eye on the 4-day, 5-day, 3-day as a way to see how close we're getting to that green signal. Now, having said that, once you get the green signal, it's not just a move to the upside straight. Like for example, you get the signal here, and then with COVID, you come down below the Gaussian channel before coming back up. We'll keep an eye on this and we'll let you know as soon as we get the weekly buy signal. So make sure you subscribe the channel, hit the like, and before leaving this video, make sure you have left a comment. That's the best thing that you can do to help this channel. And if you want to get notified about this first, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. I have reviewed this signal called leverage squeeze in this channel. This was introduced in less than a month ago. And more recently, we have this sell signal that now is at 11% in profit. If we get another buy signal, hopefully as successful as the one that you're seeing here below, you will also be notified first on Twitter and in my channel on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to get access to this by using your own Tradingview account and then set alerts, you can have a look at the description and become a member right now. This week, I have also released a new strategy called Absolutno that is some sort of DCA bot, but it's using TA to enter each of the safety orders. You can go to the tradingparrot.com right now and have a look at how it works, the motivation, what does it do, how you can connect almost any signal to it to allow you to do safety orders. It is definitely a night and day compared to just using safety orders with percentages, which is kind of the dumb option. This strategy is also available to all observers and higher tiers. And if you want to join TTP without paying absolutely anything, just find the link in the description for OKX and then look up for the promotion number 1. You're going to find all the instructions to open an account on OKX, trade in OKX, and then once you reach the level of volume traded using the instructions, let us know and we will give you a TTP subscription for free. Let's have a look at the open interest. Has it really reset? You tell me. Look at this. The open interest going higher, higher, and higher. Our reset is a move that is significant to the downside, that is beyond the trend. In this case, we are still holding support there and accumulating more and more open interest. What that means is that this move to the downside to 27K still hasn't flashed enough leverage from the system. This on-chain indicator is telling us that whales from 7 years and older whales, and we can see that at the price of almost 29K, many of them were selling the Bitcoins. Why is this important? Because most of the time when the selling from all whales is significantly compared to the median, that usually anticipates a big correction of 30-40% or way more. Right now we have sold a lot, but I still see the funding rates in green. A full reset also coincides with times where the funding rates go negative. That happens right after a big correction. And recently, we don't have any red funding rates. So that is telling me to just hold on the horses and wait a little bit longer for a better opportunity to re-enter the market. It's not financial advice, it's just what I think. Let's have a look at the weekly RSI of Bitcoin. We can see that we have the breakout here with the beginning of this bear market rally. And since then, we have never yet crossed the moving average. Right now, we are doing a bearish cross right there. At the same time, it seems like we are attempting to find support at the RSI of 58. If this level holds, we could see RSI resuming to the upside and of course followed by the price. But breaking down below this, the levels I would like to hold is anything above 50. Getting on the weekly to RSI of 40, that will be really bearish. So I'm going to introduce here the levels of 50 and 40. I'm going to enable them so we can clearly see where are these prices. To get to an RSI of 50, that will be at 24.2. So that will still hold the line of the RSI weekly being above 50, which is the level that separates being bullish from being bearish. If we go to an RSI of 40.1K and we cross below that level, we could say that it's very likely that we are going to print lower lows on Bitcoin. So those are the two levels that separate us from being bullish to being bearish to being extremely bearish. In terms of the monthly CPR, we are still holding the line and not entering anywhere inside the pivot area. Usually the pivots provide a lot of support to the price, but there's something bad. If we haven't touched the first resistance, it's very likely that in the upcoming days or month, we're going to break through the pivots and eventually touch the first support. It might not happen during this month of April, but it might happen with the levels that we're going to see in May that are still not visible in this chart. Servers. This indicator has proven to be one of the best tools I have to find when to enter the market and when to exit the market. And followed by two golden cells, we are finally in a work in progress getting a sell signal printed. So if this week the price ends up where we are or anywhere lower, it's highly likely that this sell is gonna settle in the chart by next Sunday, and usually that precedes more movement to the downside. To be honest, I would love to see the sell and then to see that we reach levels below the green line to finally say that we have reset on servers and that it is a less risky entry to invest in this market. I'm pulling this chart because I've been using it since the beginning of the year. The only thing new I did is I created this new line, which I stole from the top here, and I'm placing it right there. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm seeing that there has been support and resistance at this level, just like we have had in these other levels. We can see how we tried to get support at this level there and we lost it. We tested as resistance, and my expectation is to see something like this if this level red is still acting as a support. That level is located around 26K. The lowest level we've been when we were at the beginning of this year coincide with this line here that now is located at 20.5. If we were to fill the CME gap located from 21 to 20.1, we will pretty much go all the way to here and respect this gray line. That will still look decently well in this chart, but I just want to point out how relevant this chart still is. Now, trying to be a little bit more bullish, we can see that when you arrive to the airport in Zurich, now you are seeing these ads about Bitcoin and crypto. That is extremely bullish to see it in Zurich, which is the center for financial and banking in Switzerland. So don't underestimate the importance of seeing crypto in this particular airport. Now, some other bullish news that I have for you. In December, there was a lot of accumulation that coincided with the bottom after FTX. This amount of accumulation was precisely what was driving all this move to the upside. You can see how the larger whales that were accumulating with more than 10K in Bitcoin were the ones that were more consistent, accumulating all this time here, December, January, and February. You can see now how they have already started their accumulation again. The rest of us, poor shrimps and fishes, were busy selling, busy being scared, while at the same time, all the whales with more than 10K, they just sit back, relax, and keep accumulating. There's some news that you're gonna hear in Twitter and YouTube. There are all BTC addresses becoming active that are scaring a lot of people. I hope it's not a wallet generator that's been cracked. That could be catastrophic. Look on chain, share this tweet, which has some information here that seems to be legit. Like 1,000 Bitcoin started moving after 12 years, then more than after 10 years, and then 6,000 Bitcoin that never was active in 9 years. Now, the most scary part of that is this giant whale that moved 79,000 Bitcoin, which is 2.20 billion. I dig a little bit more into what's really going on, and I found this Twitter account that is sharing the actual address of this 79,000 Bitcoin, and luckily for us, this wallet has not moved a single Bitcoin out of their address. It's receiving dust, but it's not depositing anything into any exchange to sell. Still not moving any of these 80,000 BTC. Material indicators is saying after chopping through 27K range, became clear that there was not enough bullish sentiment at this price to push back above 28. The whales decided to pull the support at 27 and move it down below to 25.5. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember to support the channel by leaving a comment, subscribing, and hitting like. And of course, if you want to access any of the indicators, have a look at the description. You're going to find all the links to become a member of TTP. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.